Hi y'all, my name is Brett and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's called A Little Slice of Life, and basically we're going to be talking about things that have to do with life. Beauty, gardening, cooking, anything that y'all might have to suggest, you can leave it in the comment section and I'll be happy to do a YouTube video about it. Today we're going to be talking about what do you take to that family that needs a meal. You want it to be quick, you want it to make a lot, and you want it to be relatively healthy. So today we're going to be making a spicy chicken soup. I will tell you how to make it not so spicy if spicy is not your thing or the family that you're taking it to can't really handle a lot of spice. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my apron. What we need for our recipe is chicken, and you can use boneless breast, you can use breast with the bone in, you can use thighs, you can use a whole chicken as well. The main thing I like to do is make sure I take the skin off, and we're just going to take those and put them in our pot. And to this chicken we're going to add 2 quarts of water. Now we have our chicken in our pot and our water in our pot. And by the way, if you like my apron, you can go to my website, which is www.silverneedle.com. And you can check out all my cool, fabulous other aprons I have. Whimsical, traditional, tailored, and you can have the monogram. So make sure you go to www.silverneedle.com. Thanks. All right, now, the next thing we're going to add is some salt. Now, in my house, we like to use sea salt. So I'm going to add half a teaspoon of sea salt. And then I'm going to add some black cracked pepper. And then I'm going to do about a teaspoon of that as well. Then next to that, I am going to do some garlic powder. And we're going to do a teaspoon of garlic powder. We're adding all this into the pot with our water and our chicken. After the garlic powder, we're going to do some onion powder, and we're going to do a tablespoon of onion powder. And we'll just add that to our pot as well. And the next thing we're going to add is 5 chicken bouillon cubes, and I like to use the low sodium ones, so I just unwrap them and I'm going to stick them in. And as our pot starts to heat up, it will dissolve the chicken bouillon cubes. You might have to give it a little stir now and then, but we're just going to turn that on to medium-high, and we're going to let that start cooking. I'm just going to give it a little stir, make sure our spices don't get caught up on top, and we'll just wait for that to cook until the chicken juices run clear. All right, we have our chicken with all of our spices and herbs boiling, and while that's boiling, we're going to make really sort of the gravy, the basis of our sauce for our soup. So the first thing we're going to do is get some olive oil and put at the bottom of our pan. I'd say probably about 2 tablespoons worth. And to that, we are going to add our onion. And I already have it chopped here. And I just want to show you this cute little cutting board. My son got it for me for Christmas. And it's great. It lays out flat to chop, and then it folds so you don't lose any of your good stuff while you're cooking. So I just wanted to show that. It's really cute and nice to have. So we've got our onions, and with our olive oil, I'm just going to give it a stir to make sure we coat all those onions, and we are going to let that cook a little bit before we add our garlic. I like to cook the onions a little bit before I put in the garlic, because that way you have less chance of the garlic to burn, and when you burn your garlic, it can be a little bit bitter. So we're just going to let that cook for a little bit, and we're going to get our garlic out. Now I'm going to talk about garlic. Today I'm going to be using garlic in a jar. I know a lot of people don't like to use that, but in this instance we're trying to make a meal that can be made quickly, so I'm going to go to my garlic in a jar. Otherwise, if I was making for something else or a different recipe, I might use fresh garlic, which obviously is better. So I think our onions are good now. I'm going to go ahead and add 3 cloves of garlic, minced garlic. All right, and I'm going to give that a stir. And got that going. It's starting to smell really good in here with my chicken boiling over here and my onions and garlic. And to this, we're going to add 1 jar of salsa. Now you can use medium salsa, a mild salsa, hot salsa. I'm using a mild salsa because I'm also going to be using some Rotel tomatoes, and I don't want it to just be so hot that you can't eat it. So I'm going to give that a stir, and then to that I'm going to add some diced tomatoes, and I like to use low sodium, keep the sodium down. So I'm going to add my diced tomatoes, and then I'm going to add a can of Rotel tomatoes. Now if you do not like spicy foods, you can either add another can of diced tomatoes, or if you want a little bit chunky in there, you can add a can of whole tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and add my Rotel tomatoes in there. And I'm going to give that a stir. Get it all mixed up really well. Now to this I'm going to add some chili powder. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Again, this gives it a little bit of a kick. So if you don't like your things quite so much of a kick, you can cut back on the chili powder if you like. I'm going to stir that up a little bit. Now also to this, I'm going to add cream of tomato soup. Now, you can get regular cream of tomato soup, or you can get the healthy version, which is what I am using. It's called Healthy Request if you buy the Campbell's brand. And I'm going to add that cream of tomato soup. And give that a stir. It's got a really nice color. Really fragrant bouquet. I got that all stirred up. Now to this, to give it that really smooth, creamy taste without a zillion calories, I'm adding some sour cream. I'm using the light sour cream. Now if you want to go all out and use regular sour cream, obviously that is fine. I would not suggest using no fat sour cream, because what happens is it doesn't smooth out. It gets sort of lumpy and blumpy, and it just doesn't work really well. So I would go with the light sour cream and just give that a stir, and you can just look at it and it just changes the whole texture of your soup. So that's really, really good. So that's all we're going to add to this pot, and we're going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes. It gives us a chance to finish cooking our chicken, and then when our chicken is finished cooking, we are going to shred the chicken meat, because I used boneless breast, so it'll be really easy to shred and add to our soup. Okay, our chicken is all finished cooking, so what I have done is I took the chicken out of the broth. You want to save your broth, so I just used tongs and took my chicken out and put it in a colander so it could cool down so I could shred it. And then when I was measuring my broth to put into my soup, I used a strainer, especially if you cook the chicken with the skin on, or you have taken the skin off and there's still a little bit left on there. It's really good to strain your chicken broth. So we're going to add to the soup 5 cups of chicken broth, which we got from cooking our chicken, so you don't have to use canned or anything like that. And we're going to give that a stir, and then I've shredded all my chicken, and you can shred it really fine or chunky, however you like to have your chicken in your soup. As your soup cooks, it will shred a little bit on its own as well. So I'm going to add the chicken to my soup. And we have a lot of soup here, so it makes a really good item to take to a family that needs a meal. Or if you're having a large group over and you want something easy and quick, it's a really good recipe to use. And that is it. That is all there is to my spicy chicken soup. I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and I would love to read them and get back to you. Also, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. That would be super, and anytime I have a new video come up, you'll automatically know about it. Also, don't forget my website, www.silverneedledesigns.com, where you can look at this great apron and other ones like it. And also, if you want this recipe, you can go to that website, and the recipe will be written out for you as well. So thank you. I appreciate you tuning in and checking me out. Again, my name is Brett, and this is A Little Slice of Life.